Welcome to part 3 of our 7th house series, where I explain the energy of your 7th house based on your rising sign. In this video, we are going to talk about Aries Rising with Libra on the 7th house cusp, then Taurus Rising with Scorpio on the 7th house cusp, and also Gemini Rising with Sagittarius on the 7th house cusp. Before I start, again, little reminder, the 7th house is your relationship style. It is also the partners you attract into your life. And what we always forget, not always, but very often is overlooked, that this 7th house represents our suppressed part in our personality. And then we attract partners so we can see what we are suppressing, right? We often don't want to acknowledge it because we want to blame the other, but really that person is just showing us what we are not fully living in a healthy way. Okay, so let's dive right in. Libra 7th house cusp. You thrive when love is balanced. You generally seek very graceful, also very beautiful partners where looks are a thing. And you also attract partners that value commitment. Now that's where the suppression comes in. You might actually suppress that desire for commitment because your Aries personality, right, that Aries rising, it says like, no, it's me, it's what I want, it's where I want to go. Let's do this, I want to do that. So that means that you are actually attracting either people that are also very opinionated and just want what they want, and that say, well, you live your life, I live my life. And then you feel triggered because your deep desire for balance and harmony and fairness is not met. Or you attract very indecisive partners, also people pleasers. There is this ingenuine energy there and this inauthenticness that then also triggers you, and that again just wants to show you and reflect back to you your own unacknowledged need for harmony and for balance and for cooperation. Now, Taurus rising with Scorpio on the 7th house cusp. Your partnership style is very intense. You might attract in very intense partners, but also partners that are not very grounded. They offer a lot of depth and passion, but it's not really stable. You desire that all or nothingness in partnerships, and often you get it in this quote-unquote suppressed form, in form of it's all and then it's nothing, and then it's all and then it's nothing. There is a lot of on and offness here. Very often I've seen that with a lot of Taurus risings. There is a partner where you give your all and all of a sudden they're gone, and then all of a sudden they're back, and then you give your all again and then they're gone again. So in a way you suppress your fear of loss and true transformation. So you attract these partners that are controlling in a way, also very possessive in a way, but not grounded and rooted. It always feels a little shaky. It never feels like stable. And they're coming into your life to mirror your own need to embrace emotional intensity instead of fearing it, right? This emotional intensity needs to root in, right? But because it is not rooted, that, you know, the emotionality is not rooted within you, it comes and goes. And it's so beautiful when it's here, but then when it's gone, you feel the loss. And you fear that loss, and you keep fearing that loss. And as long as you keep fearing the loss of the material, the actual relationship or whatever it is, as long as you fear that, it will continue. Now, Sagittarius on the 7th house cusp, that means Gemini rising. Your partnership style is very adventurous, very optimistic. You're looking for a partner in crime, that Bonnie and Clyde character. Your love for freedom is vast, but often suppressed. You seek partners that inspire exploration, that inspire expansion, and also spiritual truth in some shape or form. But here's where the suppression comes in, right? As a Gemini rising, your personality, or the part of your personality that is adventurous, is often suppressed. Now, also that part of you that is dogmatic and that is non-committal in some shape or form, that just wants to venture out and explore the big wild world, that is suppressed. And then you attract partners that can often be very, very opinionated. Very opinionated partner that know better than you. And also partners that are non-committal in some shape or form. Doesn't mean that they don't want to commit to you, but they don't want to commit to something in that relationship. The way you, also possibly at first they come into your life and they're very, you do all the adventurous things, but then very quickly, what you will notice is that you're not doing this anymore. That partner becomes kind of like, not a homebody, but they do all of that you wanted to do with them. They do that on their own. Maybe they do it in their job. They travel a lot with their job. They travel a lot for work. They are never at home. And you're like, wait a minute, what is happening here? They're just showing you that you're suppressing your own need for freedom, your own need for adventure, traveling, being out there in the world. Now you all of a sudden are the homebody. You're at home. Maybe you're at home with the kids and they are never here. And you're like, wait, what? That was not our idea of life. I have someone in my life that is actually experiencing just that. When they started the relationship, they bought like a minivan, and their idea of living life together is just like getting in their minivan and just, driving from one country to another. And they did that the first few months of their relationship. And then slowly but surely, the partner of that Gemini rising, was very busy with work, and they were traveling for work here and there and everywhere. And they were never at home. And then they got married, and then the kids came, and then the Gemini rising person, they're just at home. They're just at home. They don't get to experience or express that Sagittarius side that wants to explore, that wants to live that vast life. Also, that Gemini rising person was very academic. Like they've studied a lot of different subjects, like quite literally. They had a lot of different diplomas in different subjects. So they did all that, and then they never used them because they were just sitting at home. And when I say just sitting at home, I don't want to make it sound like, raising kids is just. Of course not. Of course not. What I'm trying to say here is that that person is suppressing their own need for freedom, for adventure, for growth, philosophical, but also using their mind to explore the new ideas of life, of living. They are literally on that Gemini side now, sitting there in their immediate environment. They're taking the kids to school, and they're coming home, and they're picking up the other child from daycare. Like they're living in their Gemini world, not bringing in that Sagittarius world. So you got to make sure you're spreading out on that axis, right? You're exploring that whole axis to feel fulfilled. You will not feel fulfilled just being on one end of the spectrum. You're asked with this placement, you're asked to embrace your need for exploration, but also your need for freedom responsibly, right? Responsible is the word here.